Welcome to the Self-Care Show with Deidre Sanford. Although holistic and alternative healing methods are becoming more and more mainstream, what method is right for you? How do you find a practitioner once you've chosen to explore an alternative therapy? Each week, Deidre will explore a different modality with practitioners who will explain their modality and the benefits they and their clients have received through their sessions. She and her guests may also offer live readings during the show. Now, your host of the Self-Care Show, Deidre Sanford.
Well, hello and good Wednesday morning to you, Mr. Keith. It's lovely to see you here this morning. Thank you for chiming in right off the bat. Hi, Kaza. Is it Kaza? Is it Kaza? I'm sorry. I don't want to mispronounce it, but it's still lovely to see you this morning in my world. I get that it's evening for you. Thank you for joining us. Guys, okay, so like I start every week saying, oh, it's Wednesday. Hey, MK. It's, September the 20th. Good morning, Tim. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Mary Kay, I think it's quite fitting. I haven't seen you for a bit. It's lovely to have you here this morning. You know what? It's kind of crazy, isn't it? I know that Keith, Tim, and Mary Kay, I know you guys all follow other shows on the station. And everybody knows that. Hey, Stephanie, good morning. Everybody knows that WLTKDB is getting ready to, I'm just going to say, take an extended break. And though that's not denial, that's leaving room for future. I know nothing's going to happen here on WLTKDB for a while in the very near future. Hey, Lee. But it doesn't mean it won't be back someday. I'm going to leave the door open for that potential. Jamie Lynn, good morning. Today's kind of a mystery day, right? We don't really know what's going to happen here. Just jump in, see what we're going to do. And then it was like, oh, hey, we're going to do a reading show. And we will. We'll get to some readings this morning. So first of all, many of you already know Lori B., who's been doing monthly reading shows with me for several months now. She's been having some health challenges, and she's doing much, much better. Very, very grateful for that. She was going to be able to join us this morning. And unfortunately, she's not having a really good day. Good morning, Anessa. She's not having a great day today. And in true reader fashion, if we're not having a great day, then we hesitate to open ourselves up to work to the benefit of other people. So Lori is taking the day to relax and rest and recover from what's happening. So take a moment, if you would please send her some healing vibes and some positive energy. I know she'll receive it, and I know she'll be grateful for it. It's kind of fitting that I'm sitting here by my lonesome today. It's not lost on me that I haven't done a reading show by myself. I've always had another guest or a co-host, right, to read with. But I started this show almost exactly a year ago, all by my lonesome. After much guidance and support and training from Todd. I am so grateful for the opportunity that Todd and Sherry and WLTKDB and all of you have brought to me. And I've had a chance to sit back on a couple of different occasions. I know you're here, Lee, and I appreciate that so much. I've had a chance to sit back on a few occasions here in the last couple of weeks and say, you know, how do I really feel about this journey that I'm on? What is happening with this journey that I'm on? And a year ago, I sat down on this side of the camera with a microphone in front of me and panicked my way through my first show. I'm not going to lie. There are still occasions throughout the entire year of this show that Todd kind of talked me down before we went live on the air. And you know what? It's all good. It's through those experiences, through those moments, through the times with those who show up for us. And I'm including you, Todd, Tim, Jamie, each and every one of you, Mary Kay, Keith, even folks I haven't seen before. I don't think you've been on this show before, Anessa, and I'm so grateful that you're here, and Kaza as well. So grateful, because just by showing up, you're bringing your amazing energy to the show. And it helps me to know that you guys are out there. Even when I know our little ticker up in the corner tells us how many people are logged in on the Facebook page. Even though I can see some of that, sometimes those numbers and the number of people in the chat don't necessarily match up. It's rewarding for, I think I can speak for all of us as hosts, to know that you're there. You may not be ready to come forward and join the live, but you're there and it still counts and your energy still comes through and supports us. So through the last year, many things have changed for each and every one of us, certainly. But through my relationship with the station, my relationship with Todd, my relationship with Sherry, my relationships that have grown with each and every one of you, some of you outside of the station, and in fact, in real life, in many ways, have brought such fabulous, fantastic opportunities, moments, conversations to my life. And I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up in whichever way you chose to show up. And even if we didn't directly connect, yes, Keith, we are all energy. Even if we didn't directly connect through conversation and a chat on this show, if we haven't met in real life, you're still here. You're still a part of my journey. And thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a part of my journey. Other co-hosts on this station have become friends. And truly, there are aspects of the WLTKDB station. I mean, it's an entity of its own, right? That are just amazing. I'm turning off my ringer because it just bothered me. There are elements of all of this that come into play in so many ways. And it's just beautiful that each and every one of us has had an opportunity to get information, to create relationships, to move our own energies forward, to open our minds through WLTKDB and the work that Todd has put into creating this amazing place for all of us. I can't wait to see. Yes, it is alive, very much so. Jamie Lynn, I share your thoughts and I feel blessed as well. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen next? Todd is taking a step in his own journey, and I'm so excited that he's able to focus on himself for a while. He's been taking care of all of us in some aspect. I think he said this morning on his Facebook page, 90 hours a week. Doesn't leave a whole lot of room for him to just be him, does it? I'm super excited that he's able to give himself this opportunity to have more time for himself, for his family. And I'm going to free up a little bit of time here too, not just time physically in front of the camera, but a little bit of brain space, a little bit of energy. And I'm going to shoot that out in some different directions as well. It's just time. As one door closes, another one opens, right? It's fantastic to see. So true to form, you know, I did a couple of events last year, just tentatively stuck my toes in the water to see how it felt, to see what that was truly like, and to see what I could do with it. And all of the sudden, it's exploding on my calendar. I can't believe it. And I didn't think about it when I scheduled these things. I'm like, oh, this looks like fun. That looks like fun. I'm going to go here and I'm going to visit with these people and I'm going to meet people. He absolutely has a community of cheerleaders, Todd, and I know, or Jamie Lynn, and I know he feels blessed to know that you are one of his cheerleaders, as do I. So this coming weekend, Saturday, September the 23rd, I'm going to be at the Safe House in Oswego, Illinois, doing readings. On the 24th, on Sunday, I'm going to be at the Marriott Naperville, or the Chicago, I think they literally call it the Chicago Marriott Naperville. From 10 to 5, I'm not only doing table reads all day, but I'm also doing a free mediumship gallery at noon. It's a free event. There's never a charge to attendees to come in and see what's going on at that event and meet the vendors, see the art, experience the energy work, pick up a reading. Good morning, Christina. And then the following weekend, the 30th, I'll be doing the same with Illuminate Festivals at the Holiday Inn on Trader Circle in Bloomington, 10 to 5. Table reads all day. That day, the Open Mediumship Gallery is at 4 p.m. Then I get a little bit of a respite on the 7th of October. I will be at the Rock Island Haunted YMCA Paracon with so many people, some of whom I've already met, some I haven't. Over 60 vendors, Paraflix, Natalie Jones, Expedition Entity, Nick Simons, and of course, Aaron G. Thompson from 28 Days Haunted. So many amazing people. Nick Sarlo and his team from Shadowhunters are going to be there. I'm just looking forward to being in the same space with everybody. So that's the 7th of October. Then the 14th of October, I'm back in town in Yorkville, Illinois. I'll be doing readings at Witches Night Out in Yorkville. And then at the end of the month, I get to go up and see Christina and Hiawatha Wellness, all those folks up there on the 28th in Escanaba, Michigan. So quite the journey, right? Talk about expansion. And I know we've all had so many wonderful things happen throughout the year. And as is pretty common, right? We've had a lot of major transitions along the way. Transition is not always comfortable. In fact, rarely is it comfortable at all. And we're standing in the middle of transition, looking around at the ground that seems to be moving underneath our feet, trying to figure out, how do I maintain? How do we get through transition? Where am I going to end up on the other side of this transition? And we're not always able to connect the dots between the events and the outcome. But just myself recently, heck, in the last 24 hours, I recommitted to this path in different ways. And I took some very aligned actions and hoped, relied, trusted, put some faith in spirit that this is going to work. And by golly, it's gonna. They showed me this morning. Ted and I were talking backstage before the show started, and I think I've actually said this to a couple of you in conversation, obviously not on camera, in the last couple of months. And that is, there's an old story about standing around clutching your very last dollar bill in your hand, and you're clutching it so tight because it's the last thing you've got. And the other aspect to that is, yeah, you're holding on to that dollar bill because it's the last thing you've got right now. But spirit, the universe, God, however you choose to phrase it, can't possibly put something bigger and better in your hand unless you open it. So sometimes, no matter how thin, how difficult, how not quite enough, how not as much as what you think you need is being held so tightly and clutched so dearly, it can't be replaced by something even bigger and better if you're clutching so tight that you don't open yourself up for it. So instead of taking a grief approach to the shutting down of WLTKDB's doors, I'm choosing to look at the expansion that's being made available to all of us. All of us. I mean, Todd, Sherry, station hosts, those of you who have become station family, those of you who have become family outside the station. There are so many amazing things that are going to be coming up for all of us. And some of them are just kind of peeking around the corner, waiting to make sure we're open and ready to receive. It's an interesting position to be in, waiting to see what's going to show up. It feels weird, doesn't it? It can feel a little bit awkward. But hey, the sun is shining, fall is starting, which means we're coming up to equinox, which is a whole other opportunity to create new things. We've just gotten out of the most recent moon. In order to bring in the new things, we need to let go of some other things and make room for new stuff. And that extends beyond just clearing the energy, cleaning house, literally cleaning your house, to to make room for the new energies, but making changes in your life and staying open to what spirit will show. Yes, absolutely. The universal energies are completely shifting, and so many things are not making sense for so many people. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not necessarily always a train, and it may just show up like a little pinpoint of light. But if you go make your moves and allow yourself to dip your toes in new waters and cross new thresholds, at least peek behind the open door and see if it's the direction that you really want to go in, then that light gets brighter. You gotta, don't take your eye off the ball, but investigate. Allow yourself to consider new things. Sorry, I got distracted by reading the chat. I love this, you guys. It's amazing when you see that light starting to get bigger and bigger and brighter until it just lights up your world. And that's my wish for everyone, that we give ourselves the opportunity to explore the new. Yeah, it's okay to grieve the old. We've got to. Otherwise, we get stuck, right? If we don't get ourselves the opportunity to go through the process of working with the emotions and the thoughts that come along with the endings, once the cycle's complete, then we can open up to new stuff a lot more easily and a lot more genuinely. I'm going to do something a little bit unusual. I'm going to take a real quick station break. Stick with us, you guys. We're going to open up the floor to readings here just after this station break. So start popping those questions in the chat. Let me know that you're open for a reading, and we will be right back.
Looking for a unique paranormal experience? The Haunted Rock Island YMCA Paracon, October 7th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is just the event you're looking for. You will have the opportunity to investigate the Haunted Rock Island YMCA with ACG Paranormal. Visit with over 60 paranormal and metaphysical vendors from 8 or more states. And pre-order your t-shirts at dvinar@aol.com. Visit a psychic gallery reading, mediums, tea leaf reading, animal communication, dream interpretation, aura reading, tarot and oracle card readings, or get a Reiki healing. See a demonstration of the Estes Method by Carly Bird. Presentations by Nick Simons and Aaron G. Thompson of 28 Days Haunted. Greg Bakken from Ghostbox Radio and headliner Rick Hayes, along with many folks you'll see on Paraflix. Be sure to like and follow our sponsors. Paraflix, WLTK DB Talk Radio LLC, Studio 6 Productions, Unturned Pages, and Ocean Eye Crystals. General admission is only $5, and all proceeds go directly to the Haunted Rock Island YMCA. For more information on the Haunted Rock Island YMCA Paracon and vendors, look for them on Facebook under Events.
And we're back. Thanks everybody for sticking around and hanging out with me this morning. We're going to be here till about, 10 minutes to 11. So we got 30 more minutes to hang out and chat. If you're just joining us this morning, welcome to the show. I'm Deidre. I'm your host of the Self-Care Show here on WLTKDB. And we've been talking a little bit about family. We've been talking about transition. We've been talking about the grief process. And we've been talking about expansion. There's so much going on. Keith had pointed out during that conversation that, just the general energies are shifting. And when the general overall universal energies shift, we all feel it. Whether we acknowledge it or not is something entirely different, but we all shift. And my suggestion that I shared earlier is, allow yourselves the time to feel uncomfortable. Allow the time to work with the grief of an ending or the grief of a change. And I know it sounds ridiculous to say the tried and true, right? the obligatory, oh, whenever a door closes, a window opens. Yeah, maybe it's a window, maybe it's another door, maybe it's a door the size of, I don't know, a semi-truck garage. Doesn't matter how big the door is. It might be as big as a little mouse door, right? From the fairy tales. Doesn't matter how big the door is. It's that you allow yourself to explore. Hi, Sherry. You just allow yourself to explore. What are the possibilities? And allow yourself to let go of the heavy stuff, the lower vibrational energy of the heaviness, of the grief, of the sadness, maybe some anger, maybe some frustration. But allow yourself to really just sit with that until it dissipates, because it will. And once it starts dissipating, we're better able to be open to the possibility of new. We can explore new potentials with a higher vibe, with a wider lens, and with an open heart. That's how we move forward. That's how we allow ourselves to grow. And man, it can be such a tough process. I know. Been there. Just came out of a space like that. And it doesn't mean we get to stay out of them for very long. But the important thing is that you try and that you stay open. All right. Thanks for popping questions in, guys. Thanks for letting me know that you're open to hear what may come through from Spirit. Got a few of you lined up in here. Miss Stephanie is looking for a reading. Stephanie, I'm assuming since you just said would love a reading, you're looking for something general in an overall sense of things. If you have something a little bit more specific we might want to take a look at, please feel free to let me know. In the grand scheme of the entire conversation for today of tradition and of transition and changes, Stephanie, what's going on for you in the workplace? I feel like you're a little bit restless and looking for a change. And maybe not more responsibility, but a different responsibility. Aha. Gotcha. It's out there, but there's something that needs some closure for where you are now. And I think that's a general energetic statement, right? Because if it's in one aspect of your life, it's hitting all of the other aspects. Boredom and restlessness in the workplace is really like needing a bigger chunk of what you're doing now. Same old, same old. There's an open door or a new project that's coming your way that will help expand that energy and bring a refresh or renewed sense to the general overall daily feel. And I'm wondering, Stephanie, what are you actually doing to find or meet someone new to bring to your inner circle? Get out and explore more. I know it's fall and the weather's beautiful and there are all kinds of fall festivals. Exactly. I got to tell you, honey, Prince Charming is not going to come knocking on your door while you're sitting at home eating popcorn, watching a movie in your PJs. Open the door, look outside, expand the possibilities, and bring in your own opportunities by going out and exploring things, participating in things that are of interest to you. You're simply opening the door to meet new people. Nobody wants a partner that's 100% on the same page, right? And I'm not talking about things that create conflict, although conflict can be healthy. I'm talking about common interests. We don't have to share all of the same common interests. But when you start someplace where you'll find a conversation jumping off point during an activity that's commonly enjoyed by both of you, it gives you a good jumping off point. Then you can build from there. Get out of the house. Open the door. Go experience fresh air. Find a festival or two. Why do I feel like an open air market? Farmers market. Is that something that you might consider doing as an opportunity to meet someone new? Because I'm seeing all these booths and fresh produce and homemade goods, baked goods, jams and jellies. And of course it's fall, right? So pumpkins and hail bays of hail, out in a public setting. And there you go. So visit your farmer's market, sunshine. It's not one of those moments where you like lock eyes with a stranger and suddenly you're in love, right? It's not one of those things, but it's a sense of warmth and openness. When you approach an outdoor setting where you're amongst people you've never seen before, it can be very difficult to be open. We tend to want to hide a little bit, no matter whether we walked into that situation or not, hoping to meet new people. We can still be a little bit hidden and a little bit shy and a little reluctant to look people in the eye or to smile at a passing stranger. And I don't get the sense that you're unwilling to smile at passing strangers, but maybe looking people in the eye and actually making contact to start a connection might be difficult for you. Practice. It starts with a smile. It starts with maybe inadvertently bumping into someone and laughing together because you were trying to occupy the same space at the same time. And, oh gosh, sorry, didn't mean to walk into you. Something as inane as, I'm so happy to be out in this beautiful fall weather. Aren't you? Open-ended questions start conversations. But you got to make yourself leave the house, darling. You get that fall setting outside. Farmer's market is a great place to start. That's what I was seeing. And that's what I would say to you is, once again, go ahead, get out of the house, my friend. Let yourself get some fresh air. Be open to the new experience. Be open to the potential that you may meet someone new that you might be interested in exploring a deeper relationship with. It doesn't have to be a dating relationship. If you start off as friends, it's much easier. There you go, Lee. Thank you. Who did I miss? I think I just unstarred somebody. I'm sorry about that. Mary Kay. Mary Kay. Anything specific that we're looking at for you, my friend, or just shoot from the hip and see what jumps up first? Are you looking to make a big purchase that you've been putting off? Because it seems to me that shoot from the hip. Well, there you go. Thank you. It seems to me that there's a decision that involves finances that you've been putting off, and it feels like something big. Maybe not something as big as a house, but something like a new car. We've all been warned a million gazillion times, don't do anything with finances. Don't sign any contract during Mercury retrograde. Well, guess what? Mercury retrograde is receding. We are in the shadow period at the back end of Mercury retrograde. Computer screens flashing by, indicating to me that you've been doing a lot of research on whatever this project is, this new purchase is. Hedging your bet, comparing things. Take 24 hours, jump off the internet, sit back, allow yourself to process and feel into the information that you've already gathered. Follow your gut. It's sitting there. You've already seen it. It's almost real and tangible to you already. It feels solid. It feels like there might just be a couple of minor details that need to be ironed out, and they're going to be easy. I don't know if you're looking to buy something or not, my friend, but this is like, are you looking for a new car? That's what I'm seeing as a new car coming in. Okay, interesting. Maybe that one's not for you. Maybe that's for somebody else that's sitting out there thinking about buying a new car. And we're blending everything together. Cars can also symbolize freedom and the ability to go where you want to go and make some moves and some travel. But it did feel like there was something financial tied to that. Not an escape and not running away from things. Just an opportunity to shift your environment for a short period of time. It doesn't feel like there's something super heavy that you're wanting to go in another direction from. I did get the sense that you are sitting with a decision. So let's see what else I can find out about that. I'm going to stick with the car theme and talk about a sense of freedom and a sense of being open and a sense of expansion. It's going to work and it's going to do fantastic. It's getting caught up in the details. Hey, Courtney, getting caught up in the details can paralyze us. Doing too much research can lead to overwhelm. So if you're a deep, heavy overthinker, my suggestion is put it down and walk away from it for a day or two, and then go back and revisit it. And I think the important pieces that you're looking for will jump right back out to you. And I get that the context of the car or the context of a car purchase or a big purchase with finances tied to it is not resonating with you. But the sense of expansion, maybe that's what the car was symbolizing for us. Personal exploration and not getting hung up in the details. Any kind of feedback you want to shoot to me, Mary Kay, I am open to. See if we can build any further on that. Or maybe we finally found it and it's just a general sense of feeling constricted and needing to find the ability to open up a little bit and see what's cooking. That's where I get from there. And in fact, that actually just makes me want to pick up the Urban Crow Oracle deck from MJ Cullinane, which is one that shows up once in a while. It's more about shadow work, what we need to dive a little further into and make friends with rather than avoid. And what we got was observation and upheaval, which put me back into that transition conversation that's been so thematic throughout the rest of the day. Instead of gathering details and poring over all of the details, simply observing what you've already put together, like putting the whole list of information in front of you so that you can just pick out the ones that jump out at you. Too much information and too much detail can get in the way. Pick up the threads of what jumps out and what really resonates instead of getting bogged down in all of the muck and mire. And then upheaval, like I said, is showing me the transition and the change that you're looking for, the sense of turning things upside down and not feeling constricted, but feeling more open instead. If you have something a little bit more specific that you want to come to me with or that you want to share, that'd be great. So are you saying then that this might be something more relating to your daughter than to you specifically? I'm thinking of your daughter or you're thinking of your daughter. Maybe you just need to go see her. Have some face-to-face time. Constriction being symbolic of a removal or a distance between the two of you. There is a removal and a distance. Understood. It can be difficult to navigate the separation. I'm sorry to know that your daughter passed, Mary Kay. It's so, so difficult to have to make the adjustment to not being able to physically be in contact with those who are on the other side. I'm just going to take a minute. Are you dealing with our loved ones in an energetic capacity only can be very difficult. And it's constrictive in the way that we can relate to those that we're missing so much. I wasn't looking down the mediumship road today. So that can feel like a sense of constriction because the relationship and the funnel, so to speak, through which communication, energetic exchange flows is constricted, right? When we're all together in physical form, our energy is much denser and is much more easy to connect to. They're harder to hear. And the sense of freedom that goes along with it is not able to freely reach out and contact, touch, talk to, hear the way that we anticipate hearing. So the information and the sense, I put in the wrong context. Goes back to not trying to make sense of the information. And I get that. She is always with you. I'm not going to fly up there to mediumship today. It's just not where we're headed. As you relax, instead of thinking about the detailed daily contact, the things that you would do together, that you have done together, if you can revisit the emotions of the experiences and be open to allowing the process of the joy and the fun and the love to refill those crevices that are clogged with the heavier emotions and the sense of loss and grief. It can become much easier to sense when our loved ones are near us and to communicate in different ways, to hear different things. And it gives us a broader sense of freedom when that connection. And it does take time. It's very difficult to process all of those heavier energies because we carry them with us. They become a part of us. Hey, Jenny. And once we can have some distance, give ourselves an opportunity to allow ourselves to get to a point where we can re-experience some of the joy of the connection that we had in the physical form, we can bring them a lot closer to us so that we're better able to sense when they're near us. When we hear those words, the sentences that they used to say all the time, and they ring in our head, remember, it's not always our remembering that that's what they said, even when it comes with their voice. It may just come in as a soft whisper and you think it's yourself remembering, but it's actually them standing near you, reminding you, repeating those things so that you would know that that's who they are. Sending you hugs, my dear. Oh, Mr. Keith. What are you doing this morning? There's always a lot going on with you, isn't there, my friend? So much information always floating from you because you're so amazing at sharing the information that you have. And I love the exchanges that you're able to facilitate. What do you got going on? Are you looking for something just general, Keith? Or is there something specific that we want to look at today? Hey, Joe. Good morning, Karen. Well, you're welcome. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for always being willing to share your information, your thoughts, and your ideas, and of course, your energy to the places and people that you're associating with at the time. Keith, was there anything in particular that you were wanting to look at today or chat about? That's some dangerous territory, my love. Mr. Keith. theme. So two of you now. I have this sense that y'all are sitting at home enjoying yourselves, right? You're engaging with other people, you're watching TV, you're relaxing, but you're not getting out of the house much, Keith. What's going on? You have such a curiosity about you. You love to learn. You are fantastic at conveying your information, your thoughts, your ideas, and having conversations with people. And you're very, very willing to share so freely yourself. But where's the missing link in your social interactions with one-on-one? How come y'all need to get out of the house? It's fall, folks. The weather's beautiful. It's cooling off. The trees are beautiful. The sun is shining. Go explore something more solid and more tangible in your immediate area. Because I get this sense, Keith, that you're feeling a disconnect. As engaged as you are in the online world, you're looking for some companionship. And I don't mean a relationship, love interest kind of thing, although I'm not ruling that out. That's not necessarily what I'm speaking of. I'm speaking of one-on-one or small group conversation, communication, not even necessarily that's super heavy and super deep, but something maybe a little bit lighter. Get out and explore. Meet some new peeps and see what people have got going on, because they've got a lot to share with you as well. Open yourself up to those kinds of conversations. And small groups are great for that. I'm not seeing, I got like a flash of beer and then they got replaced with coffee, tea, and maybe it's just because it's fall and we're looking for something warm and cozy. And those also, both of those beverages or warm beverages and coffee mugs indicate a certain coziness and a certain intimacy to a conversation. So that small group gathering, take a break. You need to get out and explore and get yourself open to social interaction. There we go. That's the connection. It was weird because it was like a beer in a pint glass, and then it just totally got swapped out with a cup of coffee. It's a mixture of that, just general conversation. Living your life, being yourself, sharing yourself with other people, and being open to what they have to share as well. That's my suggestion. You guys, winter's coming and we're not going to want to go much of anywhere, at least not up in this area. So open the doors, open the windows, get outside, meet new people, have conversations, and be open. You can carry those conversations over in the wintertime when you don't want to leave the house because there's a bazillion inches of snow outside. Lee, Keith, I hope that helps. Break up the monotony, get out of work pattern, and get yourself some free time that's focused just on you and some relaxation and some casual conversation. Doesn't have to go deep. Lee, that's an interesting question. And I'm kind of hesitating to even step into this one, my friend, because is there something missing in your camping stuff that you're going to take? And I don't know if that's just me projecting personal conversations I'm aware of or not, but I feel like there's something that you feel like you should take with you, but you're doubting that you're going to need it. And you're like, I don't want to take it and have to bring it home again. Thanks, Keith. What? Why am I seeing a shovel, Lee? There are always things, right? When we go camping, when we go anywhere, to spend time in the outdoors, we want to have every possible thing that we could have, but I don't know, for some reason, there's a shovel in my head, and it doesn't have to be a big shovel. Maybe it's even just a hand trowel. I know you know what I'm talking about with that. Well, there you go. Hand trowel. Easy to carry, easy to conceal. If you roll over out in the middle of the night, it won't stab you. That's what I was seeing, my friend, is a shovel. And maybe more importantly, the handle of the shovel can be pretty, no pun intended, handy. You don't have a sense of that kind of danger. I feel like you're going to be super comfortable. And you may get some creepers and peepers type vibes, but you're going to know pretty quick where those are coming from. And I don't think that it's anything that you're going to be fighting off with a weapon or a shovel. And I don't think it's anything as malevolent as you may consider. Just something that you're not used to. Be open to the new experiences. I know you're going to be in really good company too. Maybe it's just the handle of the shovel or the grip, not the hand trowel. The hand trowel really is more what came forward. So it was something really small. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Maybe don't blow it out of proportion. Again, I think it's going to be nice and safe and cozy. You're going to enjoy your time and all is going to be well. I don't see anything yucky poo out there. I understand wanting to have something available for you. Should you get that sense and need that sense of security, but be open because you can process it. You'll ferret it out. You'll have a lot of people around you who will be able to help you ferret that out. It's not as malevolent as you may be considering that you need to prepare for. It's just something new and different. And I think it'll be more interesting than threatening. How about that? Take a deep breath. It's going to be fun. Alicia, I'm jumping over to you. Lee, I hope that's somewhat helpful. You probably really didn't need that much assurance. All right, there you go. You know who's coming then. That's awesome. You didn't need that much assurance, my friend. Just be open. You're safer than you may think. And trust your intuition. Trust your intuition because you can ferret it out. Take a deep breath, vibe it out, and you'll figure it out. Miss Alicia, I'm reaching for my Messenger of Spirit cards from Whitney McNeil. I don't know. I feel like I just made up her name. Thank you, Lee. Let's see. Alicia. My Messenger of Spirit card deck jumped into my hands and we'll see what we get for you. I have a blank space in my head for you. I understand that you're in transition and you know what? We all are. For some of us, it's really, really big and heavy. And for some of us, it's a little blip on the radar. And it's oftentimes shift your perspective can help. You know how we get focused on looking at things in one particular way? Give yourself an opportunity to drop back and leave room for things to unfold. Planning down to the littlest, teeniest, tiniest thing is sometimes to our detriment, as prepared as we think that makes us feel. We're closing off opportunity, or when something unexpected arises, we're limiting our own perspective on that, what we consider to be disruption, because it could be, it could be one of the finest gifts that we get. So be open to new perspectives and seeing, little blips on the radar instead of reacting and considering them to be a negative or a deterrent or a disruption. Maybe that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. And so I'm recommending that you leave space for yourself to consider shifts, changes, something that might shift your trajectory just a tiny bit. I don't feel like it's really big. Well, it can feel really big if you're not open to a little bit of disruption and adjusting your own trajectory to work with it instead of trying to figure out how to navigate around, over, under. Go with the flow. Maybe it's there for a reason. You know, like when you're in your car and you're on your way to work and you're running late and you want to go 45 into 35 and the guy in front of you really will not go over 35. That person's there for a reason. There's a disruption, but leave space to work with the disruption instead of against it. And the card that popped up is synchronicity. Trust that the way it unfolds is exactly the way that it's supposed to unfold, and work with those things because they might just be putting you a couple of degrees on a different trajectory towards something that's even better than what you're running toward, moving toward by design. Leave room for spirit to show you a different way. It might even make it easier, but it is confirming that you're on the right path and everything is coming together. So keep yourself open. Hopefully that helps. We're in big transition. It's easy to want to plan every single moment and every single step, but sometimes those things need to just unfold as they are. Leave yourself some space. Oh, who else popped in? Guys, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you this morning, for jumping into the show. I love it. And going out with a bang. Karen, nobody's going to laugh at you on this show if you say Bigfoot. I think it's awesome. And I think it's something to keep our eyes open for. Because, you know, Bigfoot isn't limited to just the East Coast or the West Coast. There are lots of Bigfoot sightings in Illinois and Wisconsin, to jump completely off the subject, right? Got to clear the plate a little bit anyway. Yeah, I don't think Bigfoot's out of the question. You never know. So I think it's a cute idea, Karen. I love it. Expansive. Alicia, I'm glad that helped, and I helped, and I'm glad it makes sense to you. Peace and hope is important, especially when you're creating an entire new life. Congratulations. Glad I could help. Thank you for the trust. All right. Let's see. Miss Karen. Karen would love a reading. Karen, what are you focused on, darling? I don't know why I'm calling people darling today. I am sorry if that offends anyone. I guess it's my new replacement for hun. Never my intention to Bitta. Never my intention. Let's see. Miss Karen, any particular direction in which you care to go, or are you just wide open here? I've got this little chalkboard in front of me and I'm using an eraser on it. So I'm trying to clear some space and get some openness for this one. And I don't know why I'm still shuffling these cards, because I'm really not feeling cards with you, Karen. Hang on just a second. Let me see where we go with this. Who's this person that's causing you so much stress? I don't get a sense it's you, although I do get a sense that the way you're reacting and interacting, right? Reacting to and interacting with this individual is adding fuel in some respects, and more for yourself than necessarily for the other person. Does that make any sense to you? Does that resonate with you at all, Karen? Having a conflict with maybe even an internal conflict over someone, your daughter. Thank you. Man, those family conflicts can be some of the most difficult, because we are so emotionally tied to, so energetically attached to family members. So that being said, because it is a family member, it can feel much more personal than it might actually be for one or both of you. I'm not looking to see who's right and here, looking to see who's right and who's wrong. But Sometimes, Miss Karen or Mrs. Karen, we need to allow people to make decisions, even though we can see they might not come to fruition the way they envision them. We want to shepherd, we want to protect, we want to support, but we also want to keep them from making mistakes. And unfortunately, sometimes that's the only way we learn our lessons. Benefiting from your wisdom, not letting her make the same mistakes that you made. Unfortunately, yes, fortunately, you have a lot of wisdom to share. Unfortunately, sometimes those closest to us are the ones that are least open to hearing what we have to share. As long as she is physically safe, give her a little bit of room to navigate this. Because I feel like she's super closed down and not receptive. And I feel like you two are you're so open and you're so ready and willing to be supportive and to be available and to help walk through this. But the more you knock on that door, looking to be able to assist, the further out she runs. Like I said, as long as she's safe and not putting herself in physical danger, I would encourage you to give her a little bit of rope. I don't know why rope came out of my mouth. Give her a little bit of rope. Breathing room, growing pains. Sometimes, unfortunately, the best thing that we can do for the people that we care about the most is allow them to make their own decisions and choices. They will hear what they choose to hear. Your voice will resonate in her mind later. And at some point, she may come back and say, gosh, thank you so much. I'm sorry I didn't hear what you had to say. I'm sorry I wasn't receptive. I should have listened to you. I don't see that this is going to be a horrendous, cataclysmic outcome. But I get a sense that there is cause for concern. It's never not legitimate to be concerned or care for someone. But she needs just a little bit of space to kind of work this out. Leave the door open. Let her know that you have information to share when she's ready, so that the door doesn't feel closed from either direction to ever revisit this again. When she's ready to come back and hear what you have to say, or when she comes back and needs some support in choosing to navigate or how she might navigate, that's going to be more important, is to be available to her at that point in time. Karen, you're welcome. I'm as long as she's physically safe and I don't get a big sense of danger here. Sometimes we can't save other people from their own lessons. So just be available to be a support moving forward. Keep the door open. I think she'll be all right. It's a process, always is. KJ, thanks for popping in. How are you this morning? It's nice to see you. I think I'm going to have to start closing this down, guys. KJ is unfortunately going to be the last person that I'm able to read to. I do have a couple other things to clean up once we're done doing some readings here. I'm glad that you're here, KJ, watching us for the first time, because unfortunately, officially, I'm going to say this is going to be the last episode of the Self-Care Show as we know it. So I'm super, super happy to see all of you here this morning. Thank you for jumping in. Kayla, thanks for letting me know that you're open for a reading today. I'm going to ask you the same question. Is there anything specific that you're looking to find a little bit more information for? Or are you just kind of looking for a general sense of what is going on in the world? Because I'm seeing a little bit of chaos on your side. Okay, Spirit communicates with us in different ways for everybody. And it may not make sense to everyone else, but I have a cartoon character here who's walking around. Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? So I don't feel like it's a crazy, huge disappearing act that somebody has just pulled, but I feel like you're looking for some footing and the world has shifted and things are a little bit chaotic right now. And I'm also seeing is that the more chaotic, emotionally driven from anxiety and misunderstanding, looking around, trying to ferret things out, trying to gain understanding from your perspective, I feel like you're roiling up your own emotions in your own waters a little bit, and you're adding to your own chaos and confusion. Take a deep breath. And what I'm hearing is, what have you really lost? What can you do for yourself with this extra available time that's just made itself available to you? Because I know you weren't counting on this, but you were also using some of that time and energy that you were sending in another direction to prevent yourself from looking at something else that you prefer not to look at. You know it's there. You know it's there, but you'd rather keep running. And by running, I mean ignoring it. Take the opportunity to just let things sit. Resign yourself to, okay, this is how it is for now. Because I have a sense that it wasn't your decision for this shift to take place. Rather unexpected. And that's what's causing some of the additional stress and chaos and confusion. But the more you feed the confusion, the more difficult it's going to be to see answers and to gain some understanding and perspective. So take a little bit of that extra time that you now have to really just sit with yourself. And again, what can I do that's in my own highest and best interest with this additional time? And through that approach, you'll be able to see a little bit more clearly what's happening. Because this wasn't designed to be an insult. It wasn't designed to be injurious. The chaos needs to settle so that you can see. And when you see the time and energy that you get back from this extra space that you have in your own life, things start to make a little bit more sense. And like I said before, you'll get an opportunity to look back and see what it was you were investing all your time and energy in another direction in order to ignore or to leave sit. And that thing that you've been running from or ignoring that you're leaving sit in the shadows is where your answers really are. It's not so much about the outside influence that helped create the chaos. You kind of created it yourself by leaving this thing in the corner. And that's a blessing. It's hard to see our blessings when things feel chaotic. Give yourself an opportunity to look at that which is sitting in the corner that's driving your constant motion. And I think that actually isn't something that's super dark and heavy and super yucky. It's just something that's like a gnat flying around. It keeps coming back up. You're like, I don't want to deal with this. There's that thing again. Emotional losses can come in groups, right? A similar emotional loss piles on top of the old emotional loss. It all starts touching itself. So when you give yourself an opportunity to look back over the pattern, you can say, oh, that's how this started. That's so little. That's not even such a big deal. Why does it feel like such a big deal? You can break it down in little pieces and let it go. And it loosens up the chaos across the board. I feel like you're a perpetual motion machine. Slow down, quiet your mind, and give yourself an opportunity to explore. I know it sounds awful and it sounds difficult, but without giving ourselves that opportunity, then we tend to continue to repeat patterns, and then we wonder why the pattern is there. It's actually, I'm not belittling the event itself. What I'm saying is it's going to be easier to get yourself out of that pattern than it seems like. If you have any feedback for me, Miss Kayla, anything else that you have a question about, let me know. I've got like barely any time left, but I'm going to go ahead and take a couple minutes. Thanks again, you guys, for joining me on this journey today. And for some of you just today, and for others of you for this journey of the past year, being a part of my own growth, being a part of my own process, and sharing your growth and process with me as well. It's been an absolute honor to have sat on this side of the camera on WLTKDB, to work side by side and hand in hand with Todd, and of course, by extension with Sherry, to have an opportunity to establish relationships with all of you. Do I know where I'm going or what I'm doing next? Nope, I really don't. I got a couple open doors. Thanks, Keith. I'm sure I'll see you around soon. Got a couple of open doors. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. So until then, I'm just going to go do my events, and I'm going to do the Shake and Howdy, and I'm going to meet as many people in person as I possibly can. And I'm just going to keep trucking along doing what I'm doing. Hang out with me on the Deidre and Friends Facebook page if you want to keep in touch, find out where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing next. Until 3 o'clock this afternoon, when I join Kelly Brickle on her show, The Psychic Hour. I'm going to just wish you all a wonderful day. Thank you again for sharing your energy with me today, and for supporting not just me and this show, but WLTKDB as a whole. I'm sending you all off to have wonderful, wonderful days, and sending you all along on your path with blessings. Thank you again.
The truth is here and now on WLTKDB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.